People and animals have been hurt, and some have even died. Did the people who were hurt cause the disaster? Did God cause them to be hurt because they did something bad? In the story when Jesus asked similar questions, he said,
"No, God doesn't do things like that."
So, God does not do things like that. This is a very important message, and I want you to remember it. So, if a building or bridge falls and there are people injured, did God let them get hurt because they were bad people?
No, God doesn't do things like that.
Does God help us find the strength to get through the hard times as well as the good?
Yes, God does things like that.
If a flood takes out a farmer's crop and destroys his home, did God make it happen because the farmer was a bad person? What about his family? Which one is that, Jordan?
No, God doesn't do things like that.
Does God want us to help others in need?
Yes, God does things like that.
If a child was born blind, did God make her that way because her parents were bad people?
No, God doesn't do things like that.
Does God love all of us?
Yes, God does things like that.
Thank you. Very good.
I thought that was a great lesson for all of us. That so, please. So when we start thinking about this, I love the explanation they gave. Because I know sometimes it's hard for us to say, why do bad things happen to good people? And why did that happen? Can God control it? Can God stop it? Because that's what my husband asked me
Well,
this
it's the
morning.
Old Testament, that's why.
And it's all
Everything
from the
in
Old Testament.
is punishment and
So the buildings and
Fear.
bridges just fell. Maybe your materials didn't support your design, or you tried that what was unusual. So they had to build something in class. And so if it fell, it's maybe because it wasn't the right design or right structure. God didn't make it fall.
I did? It
So
didn't fall?
it didn't fall. We did a good job. These can be scary times, but they are not happening because God is making them happen. Our Creator set the universe in motion. We have done some things that have not supported that. Both good things and not so good things have happened to us all. God does not make them happen to reward or punish us. There are things that happen because God created a world that continues to live, grow, and respond. So when you think about these things that happen, God set all of this in motion and gave us the responsibility. And we have not used that responsibility wisely sometimes. So when things happen, maybe it's because we're not taking care of our universe. We are a very consumption society. We want it all, we want everything, and we don't necessarily think about how those things are getting to us and what they're doing to God's creation. And so that sets other things in motion that we are controlling but not realizing that we're doing it. So God just wants us to stop and think. I'm not punishing you because you did anything wrong. I'm not punishing parents. I'm not punishing you for a mistake you made. All these things were set in motion. And as a society, we need to move forward and be that little pebble of good things and cast out there into society and help those, do good things. So I like teaching this class because it does break things down and it helps me. So in our class, we also talked about Doctrine and Covenants 163, 4a through C. I'm going to probably read it twice because I really want y'all to listen to this. God, the eternal creator, weeps for the poor, displaced, mistreated, and diseased of the world because of their unnecessary suffering. Such conditions are not God's will. Open your ears and hear the pleading of mothers and fathers in all nations who desperately seek a future of hope for their children. Do not turn away from them, for in their welfare resides your welfare. Pretty profound, huh? The earth, lovingly created as an environment for each to flourish. Shredders in distress because creation's natural and living systems are becoming exhausted from carrying the burden of human greed and conflict. Humankind must awaken from its illusion of independence and unrestrained consumption without lasting consequences. Let the church equip people of all ages to carry the ethics of Christ's peace into all areas of life. Prepare new generations of disciples to bring fresh vision to bear on the perplexing problems of poverty, disease, war, and environmental deterioration. Their contributions will be multiplied if their hearts are focused on God's will for creation. Does that not just sum it all up? Mm-hmm. That was huge when I read that. That God weeps for the poor, the displaced, the mistreated, and the diseased of the world because of their unnecessary suffering. Such conditions are not God's will. Open your ears and hear the pleading of the mothers and fathers in all nations who desperately seek for a future of hope for their children. Do not turn away from them, for their welfare resides your welfare. We can all go out and do something. The earth lovingly created as an environment for life to flourish, shredders in distress, because creation's natural and loving systems are becoming exhausted from carrying the burden of human greed and conflict. Mankind must awaken from its illusion of independence and unrestrained consumption without lasting consequences. That's something that each and every one of us can do. And I have to admit, when I read it, I thought, how materialistic am I? Do I have to have every new gadget that comes out? Do I have to have more than what is necessary? And sometimes I do. Let the church equip all of our ages to carry the ethics of Christ's peace into all areas of life. Prepare new generations of disciples to bring fresh vision to bear on the perplexing problems of poverty, disease, war, and environmental deterioration. Their contributions will be multiplied if their hearts are focused on God's will for creation. And I don't know how many of y'all catch the news when we have incredible students creating things for our future to make it a better place. My heart gets happy when I see those things.
Yes.
Because that gives me hope. Because I don't always see hope in the
right,
news
right.
when I go forward. I will tell you, when I think of all of the scriptures today and the good, the bad, everything that goes on, I am so blessed to have the job that I have. I need to remind myself that every morning when I get to work, but I am very blessed because I get to see this growth. I get to see that as educators, we don't give up on students. We don't give up because they have a disability. We don't give up because they're busy. We don't give up because they can't sit still. We don't give up because they can't see. We figure out ways to teach them and help them to be productive. And in my job, I have the opportunity to hear those stories almost on a daily basis. When we take our special ed students out into the community and a teacher comes back and says, wow, you should have seen what they did today. I would have never guessed. We had a student working in some kitchen and they had to, it's pretty cute, they had to put 3 sausage patties on top of one another and put them, like take them from the grill and put them somewhere else. And so one of the students took one at a time and put it in there. One at a time and put it in there. Well, the other girl, special ed as well, said, that's a little too much work. So she stacked them all up and put 3, scooped the 3 up and put them in there. So she was fine and nobody told her what to do. No one told her how to do it. And so now she's cooking in this restaurant. And that's what she wanted to do. So, you know, I do have the opportunity to hear the good things that we're doing. So it just reminds me every day not to give up on people.
Amen.
And to know that there's good in everybody, and we need to recognize that. Yeah. And we need to be that pebble. I really wanted to give y'all all a pebble today, and so that you could take it home and you could say, okay, this is what I can do. I can go out. And I'm this small, but I can make this big of a difference. So I thought today's lesson was really great, and I know that we are all doing wonderful things in our lives. And we don't know who we're touching. We don't know the effect that we have when we hug kids and tell them that they are loved. You watch the video that Carol picked. You are loved. It is profound, and people need to hear that. So please go out and let people know that they are loved and that they have gifts.
Amen.